Hi, it's Caitlin from Caitlin Swatches, and I am very happy, as always, to be sharing new Bee's Knees lacquer with you. So the polishes I'm sharing with you today will be available from July 29th at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time through August 3rd. I will include all of that information down in the description, as well as the names of the polishes and everything you might need to know. But the collection that is new for July is inspired by a book called Only a Monster. It's by Vanessa Len. There are 12 polishes. They include 3 sort of updated siblings to a lion with a thorn in its paw. So if you love that polish, then you are going to love the polishes in this collection. There's some shimmers, there's a reflective glitter polish. Everything is beautiful. And I've also got 2 of the, I think there's 8 options of mysteries, which you could potentially get. I've got 2 of those. I'll stop the video and let you know before they come in case you don't want to see them. They'll be at the end, so don't worry about that. And those ones are inspired by 6 Crimson Cranes, which is another book I really don't read and I probably should. But anyway, that's another story for another day. Oh, and I lied. There's going to be 12 options of mystery polishes that you could buy. They all feature reflective glitter. I'm getting tongue-tied. Reflective glitter and ghost flakes. So they're very beautiful. And as always, you can buy them as mysteries where you get 2 this month, or if you wait until August, you can buy them after you've seen them kind of thing. So you can like pick out the specific ones you want. There's also a limit on the number of mystery bags available. There will only be 450 and there's 1 per customer only. And there's actually 2 new Rainbow Connection UK customs, which will be available on the Rainbow Connection UK website. I'm sure there will be group buys if you're trying to get yourself these polishes. They are beautiful. I'm very excited to share them. And is that everything I have to tell you? I think so. Anyway, I'll try to put everything down in the description, or I'll say it in my voiceover later in case I missed anything, but so many pretty polishes, so exciting. Let's get into it. Okay, let's start with the shimmers in the collection. I've got Only You Can Stop the Hero, and this one is described as a sister to an Act of Wrath. And this one is an orange leaning coral with strong green to blue to purple shimmer. So this one is obviously beautiful. It has a really good formula and it does have a sheer base. So it's probably best to build it up in 3 coats like I've done here. If you wanted, you could probably put this and any of the other shimmers over a nail line blurring base coat if you wanted a more opaque look, but I personally love it sheer like this. I think it's beautiful and the shimmer is so intense, as you can see here. So this one starts off sort of orangey coral, and then when you move around you get oranges and pinks, and it's just fantastic. So here I am walking through the house and you can just see how shifty it is. Next up is Unmade. And this one is also a sister to an Act of Wrath, so they all have the same kind of shimmer in them. And this one is a dusty pink base with strong green to blue to purple shimmer. So this one has the same kind of formula as the last one, which is amazing, builds up really nicely in 3 coats, and is obviously incredibly shimmery and just really beautiful. So this is it in 3 coats plus top coat, and as you're going to see with this one, the shifts are really incredible. You're going to get purples, almost green, definitely blue at some angles, and yeah, I love this one so much. And here we have I Won't Remember What You Mean to Me, and this one is described as a pale indigo that shifts an entire rainbow of colors, which you will see shortly. So this has the same kind of sheer base as the last few polishes, and I would recommend, of course, building it up in 3. But personally, I think if I was wearing these in my day-to-day life, I would actually wear them at 2 coats because I kind of like a sheer finish. So once I build it up in 3 coats, as you can see, there's a tiny bit of visible nail line, but it's mostly covered. And the shimmer, as you will see right now, is super intense. There's the green, there's yellow, there's gold, there's pinks, there's kind of everything. And I particularly love how that one looks out of direct lighting. Here it is, you can just see all of the shifts. And here we have If You Believe in Fairy Tales, which I would say is a sibling to the previous polish you just saw. So this one has a pale, almost pinky base. Sorry, it's a pale, almost pinky purple base, and it shifts through the entire rainbow of colors. So this one has the same formula. I recommend 2 to 3 coats and top coat. And as you will see shortly, it's incredibly shifty. So this one in particular, I caught a lot of gold shimmer in it. So overall, that was sort of the most predominant type of shimmer. But then when you move your hand around, you see the blues and the pinks and the purples and the greens and all the colors of the rainbow. And this one is called Every Monster Goes Up Against the Timeline, and I would say this is the green sibling to the last 2 polishes. This one, officially the description calls it a lime green base with gold to green to blue shimmer. So this one doesn't claim to have that whole rainbow, but it gives sort of a similar effect in my opinion. It's definitely very rainbowy when you move your hands around, but another one that looks great in 2 to 3 coats plus top coat. And overall, you're seeing a really strong yellowy golden shift. But as you will see now, there's definitely some blue there. And I absolutely love how this one also looks out of direct lighting, as you're seeing right now. And here we are moving into sort of a different kind of finish for the collection. This one's called the Hunt Family Power. And at first glance, this one is a grass green jelly that shifts to a dramatic pink shimmer. So these are, I would say, more sheer looking overall than the previous polishes you've seen, because the shimmer in this one is not as intense, so it doesn't obscure your nail line as well. But I mean, I don't have a problem with that. I'm a big fan of visible nail line, so I really love this one. And you can sort of see that pinky shimmer peeking out, which looks so good against the green base. So here it is in 3 coats plus top coat, and here you will see the pink shimmer, which is quite strong, especially at more extreme angles. And yeah, I'm just going to move my hand around for a really long time so you can see how it looks. And here we have Real Monsters Look Like You and Me. So this one is at first glance a rich cobalt jelly, but it shifts to a dramatic pink shimmer. So this has the same kind of shift in it that the previous polish did, but it's just a different base color. So once again, I would recommend building this up in 3 coats. I actually used, no, actually it's the one coming up, but I put it on my mom and I used a visible nail line blurring base coat, and it looks really good that way too. So if you don't want to see your nail line, then I recommend a base coat like that, or of course you can always use a complementary base color and that would look really good. So this one, I'm kind of obsessed with the contrast of the blue and the pink shimmer. As you can see, it's really strong, super beautiful, and I really love it. So here we have Dragons Need Not Fear Other Dragons. And this one is described as an unassuming deep turquoise jelly that shifts to a dramatic pink shimmer. So the third in that sort of type that we just saw in the previous two polishes. And I'm going to say the same thing about the formula. It's beautiful. It's so easy to work with. And I really love this base color. I don't have a lot of colors like this in my collection, but this one is super pretty and I love the shimmer in it. So here it is in 3 coats. I'm applying top coat and I really love how squishy these are as well. So here it is. As I move my hand around, you can see how intense that shimmer is. And now we're moving on to the polishes that are a sibling to a lion with a thorn in its paw. There's 3 of them. So this one is an updated sister to a lion with a thorn in its paw. And it's described as a mid-toned blue base with glowy red to green shimmer and hollow flakes. So everyone here knows that I really love hollow flakes, so I'm very excited about these 3 polishes. And sadly, I don't have a lion with a thorn in its paw, so I can't compare, but of the 3 you're going to see, I think this is the closest to the original polish. And as you can also see, the shimmer is incredibly intense, and you get green, you get gold, you get red. It's just really beautiful, and the hollow flakes are just amazing. Sadly, it wasn't really a sunny day when I swatched these, so you can't see it in the sun. The next one is called Always Free, and this one is a dark green base with glowy red to green shimmer and hollow flakes. I also apologize if you can hear kids screaming. They're not mine. I don't have kids. I'm never going to have kids. But they're my annoying neighbors. So this one and all of them I built up in 2 coats, but maybe you might want 3. I mean, I feel like most people will probably do 3. I personally liked it in 2 coats. I got full opacity, but I can see some people needing 3 to cover their nail line. But this one, I just love the contrast of the shimmer in this one particularly. I think it looks so good. And last but not least, in these sibling polishes, we have the Laos Remember. I don't know if I said that right. I Googled it and tried, but I'm trying. So this one is described as a grape purple base with glowy red to green shimmer and hollow flakes, of course. So another one that I built up in 2 coats. It has such a good formula. It's so easy to work with, and obviously you want top coat to make sure it's super glossy and shiny, but this one kind of reminds me of grape gummy candies, and now I want some. But here it is. I really love the way that orangey red shimmer kind of comes out against this base, and it's just so pretty. And last but not least, from this collection, we have We Love a Tragic Romance, and this one is described as a grungy rose with gold to green ghost flakes and a scattering of ruby light reflective glitter. So this one, if you don't know what ghost flakes are, they're the largest particle size of unicorn pea shimmer. So they aren't quite as sparkly as unicorn pea because they're denser and more flake-like, but they have the same color shift. So that's something. I learned something new today. Anyway, this one is so pretty. I actually love it so much. It really works for me as sort of a nude nail with a little twist. So I love this one. Definitely want to use 1 or 2 layers of top coat to smooth it out, but as you can see, the ghost flakes are so interesting, and the ruby light reflective glitters just look really cool against this base. So here it is, and I'm actually going to do a whole bunch of comparisons now, but I wanted to show you a look at the entire collection before we get into the mysteries as well as the new Rainbow Connection UK customs. But I know a lot of you appreciate this sort of collage, so you can take a look, take a screenshot, and now we'll talk about the comparisons. So when I saw Only You Can Stop the Hero, I wanted to compare it with some other polishes that I've recently swatched, so I've listed everything there in the order that you see them. I would say Only You Can Stop the Hero is really close to Hypaxia, which was a mystery, but as you can see, they're not really the same. So I think you basically need all of these polishes. And here are some more comparisons. So on my index, you have If You Believe in Fairy Tales, and then on the middle, I have Doomacorn, I Won't Remember What You Mean to Me, and Fairy Punchfather. They're all pretty different. Yeah, you probably need all of them once again. It's not very helpful. And here I've compared Unmade with Doomacorn and Sophie, as well as We Will Not Take His S Word. And once again, they're all quite different. I guess Unmade is kind of close to Doomacorn, but not really. Yeah, they're all uniquely beautiful. And every time I pull out my bee's knees to compare, I'm always surprised by how different they all are. So let's get into the Rainbow Connection UK customs. The first one we have is Get Off These Yams, which has a really funny inspiration. So it's inspired by the time Faith loudly announced to everyone at the indie shop in San Antonio that she had to get off her yams. She meant to say she had to get off her gams, but she said yams. And so now we have a yummy orange nail polish with glowy pink to green shimmer. It's so beautiful. As you can see, I did opt to build this one up in 3 coats. You can still see a bit of my nail line, but of course I don't have a problem with that. And as you are going to see in a second, the shimmer in this is just so incredibly intense. It kind of blew my mind. And for me, it works sort of as like a nude nail with shimmer. So I really love it. And yeah, I also love yams. So I really like this nail polish. And the second custom for Rainbow Connection UK is called Pinkest Sneakers. And this one is inspired by the time the Bee's Knees team dropped an entire container of pink pigment and coated almost every surface in the workshop, but none more than their shoes. So they all ended up with the pinkest sneakers. So this one is a sheer pale purple, leaning magenta, with large particle red to orange shimmer. So this one I also built up in 3 coats. It also has a tiny bit of visible nail line still. This is such a pretty ethereal nail polish that I am completely in love with. And as you can see, a very strong, intense shimmer shift. So hopefully you like these customs. I love the ones last month and I absolutely love these. So if I had to pick my favorites, I kind of love all 3 of those Lion with a Thorn in Its Paw siblings. Maybe my favorite would be Always Free. I kind of really love the teal, but I also really love the pinky purpley one. It's super pretty. And of course I love all of the shimmers, but I especially love Only You Can Stop the Hero. That one is just so pretty. And I also really love We Love a Tragic Romance, because I think on me it looks like kind of like nude nails, but then there's those little red glitters, so it's kind of spooky in a way. And I also love the ghost flakes. So let me know in the comments, before we get into the mysteries, which polishes from the collection or from Rainbow Connection UK you plan on picking up. And if you do leave now, then have a great day wherever you are, and hopefully I will see you in my next video. But if you're staying, let's do the mysteries. I've got 2. Let's take a look. And now for the mysteries, we have You Conjured Me Out of Hope, and both of these mysteries, and actually for the the whole set of mysteries for the 6 Crimson Cranes, which will be available this month. They all feature ghost flakes and light reflective glitters. So this one is described as an indigo polish with gold to green ghost flakes and emerald light reflective glitter. So this base color is so pretty. It's almost like a dusty navy blue to my eye. And for these polishes in particular, usually I only do 2 coats with reflective glitters, but I felt like 3 coats were needed to get the base color as true to the bottle as possible. But I will say that they built up very easily in 3 coats and weren't too thick, very easy to work with. So you just probably want 2 layers of top coat, but as you can see, the ghost flakes stand out beautifully. The second one is called Nazayan. Apologies if I mispronounced that. This one is described as a rich royal purple with gold to green ghost flakes and silver light reflective glitter. So I also really love this base color and also built this one up in 3 coats. I also really love how the ghost flakes contrast with the base. I think it is absolutely gorgeous. So I might not have seemed like the biggest fan of reflective glitters at the beginning of this whole trend, but I have to say Bee's Knees Lacquer really does an incredible job with their reflective glitters, unlike anyone else, and I am a fan of these. So this is it in 3 coats plus top coat. You can see how beautiful those ghost flakes show up, as well as the twinkle from the reflective glitters, and I will also show it through the camera lens with flash for those who like that effect. When it comes to the mysteries, they're both really pretty. I love the ghost flakes. I think it's just a really interesting nail polish component and it works really well with the reflective glitters. So yeah, let me know if you're planning to pick up a mystery bag. Let me know what else you're planning to pick up if you didn't already. And have a great day wherever you are. Hopefully I will see you next time. Bye.